All right, so if you haven't heard, you probably did because you clicked on the video. But Disney Plus has come out with the newest Marvel show called Wonder Man, and y'all are probably wondering, hey, is this a good show? Is this worth the watch? And I'm here to break it down for you. So I'm gonna try and avoid spoilers for the most part, but just some background information about the character. It's Simon Williams. He is an actor in the comics, very famous actor in Marvel, and he is also a superhero called Wonder Man. And so that's what the show is based on. And what makes this show unique might make it stand out to some people. It might make it seem mediocre to others, but I think the majority of people see this as a redeeming quality is the fact that the show doesn't go into any big, huge scope, like world ending monsters or cataclysmic events or things like that, or things that are going to completely change the MCU. It really is focused on Simon Williams' character, and there's not a lot of action actually. And I thought that would be a usually if I hear something like that, like, hey, this show doesn't really have any action, I'm gonna think, hey, I'm not really gonna want to watch this. But they build up the character of Simon Williams, of Trevor Slattery, very, very well, and it's an enjoyable watch, even though it's not super action filled. It touches on a lot of themes that you can resonate with as just a human being. And I think that makes it very, very watchable and again, just relatable to the user. That's what makes some of these super duper popular superheroes what they are today. Like Spider-Man. I've never heard of someone who dislikes Spider-Man. Um, Heroes here and there, you might find someone that dislikes a certain hero. You might think that they don't exist, but guess what? I don't really love Superman. I did love Superman 2025 though. But anyway, Spider-Man is not one that I see people dislike because he is so relatable. Like Peter Parker, he has real issues that we as normal people have, and I feel like this Disney Plus show does the same thing with Simon Williams, which makes it a really compelling watch, even despite the lack of action. I also appreciate that the show does not really do that much with his origin story. It is kind of an origin story of how he became Wonder Man, the character, I guess. But it's not so much in how he gets his powers. That's not really a big element of the show. And I'm fine with that. Again, connecting it to Spider Man, I think it was such a good move in Civil War for them to not even bring up Spider Man's origin story because everyone already knows it and it doesn't really matter for the movie at hand or the story that they're trying to tell. And probably not everyone knows Wonder Man's backstory. In the comics, he and his brother are part of this big weapons company. They really hate Tony Stark, but Simon gets kicked out of it. I think he gets himself kicked out of it, but he does this deal with Baron Zemo. He gets the powers. He's originally a villain, but eventually becomes one of the Avengers. But one, this is not even touched on in the show at all. And two, it really doesn't seem like the show is going to go with that route at all, at least from what I got from it. So, yeah, and it wasn't relevant to telling his story. His story is not about how he got his powers, it's him trying to figure out living with them and trying to be himself. So, yeah, I think that was a good call to not waste time telling the story that's not really part of the story that they're trying to tell. Again, I think they told this story well and they didn't let the fact that they're in the Marvel universe detract from the story, from that story. They didn't let that happen. They didn't make that sacrifice, and I think that's something that this is tough because I think that's something that some shows fall victim to, and they end up with not. Or I think the movies do it more, where they're just trying to get every single cameo, every single connection kind of thing, but lose the actual movie itself. Whereas I think a lot of the or not a lot of the shows, but sometimes the shows and some of the movies don't connect enough, and it just feels like it's completely own thing where it doesn't even feel like it's in the universe. But this really struck the balance of being its own thing, like its own story, but still feeling like it was in the universe. I think they did a really good job with that. And overall, I just think this show is the standard for what a Disney Plus Marvel show needs to be. It needs to be small enough in scope so that if people don't watch it, it's not like, oh, yeah, you didn't watch this show? The entire universe has changed now. Like, if y'all did not watch Loki, you are in big trouble for anything in the future. You have to watch Loki. You have to watch that show. And I think the way they set up the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if there are events like that, they should be in a movie, not a show. And so, yeah, Wonder Man does great in that category. Does great in not wasting time in character development that's not really important, like origin stories sometimes. I think animes do a good job with that, where it's like, hey, the exact science of how this power works doesn't really matter. It's the power itself and the implications of it that do. And third thing that it did really well was just striking that balance of being connected to the universe but still telling its own story. Uh, so yeah, I think this is worth the watch. Also, this doesn't factor into if it was a good show or not. But man, no spoilers. He is powerful. He is. Oh man, I might make a video about the MCU and like the power creep in the MCU. But you got Wonder Man, Captain Marvel. You have Thor in a prime above his Infinity War self. You got Adam Warlock. You have Sentry. Like I I get it that Doom is gonna be like that guy, but really, like is he beating that? Doctor Strange too. The what if variants that are like ultra cracked. Scarlet Witch, who is definitely not dead. I don't know. Doom has his work cut out for him, uh, especially seeing what Wonder Man can do. Like that small amount of what he can do. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know if y'all are gonna watch this show. Give it a try. I really think you should. I know Disney Plus has kind of eroded that trust that the shows are gonna be good. This is a good show. So let me know what y'all think, and thank you for watching.